Hi everyone, welcome to this beginner's yoga flow. Go ahead and take a seat on your mat. You can sit up on a block if you'd like. Sitting up on a block allows your hips to open up a little bit, creates that space so you can keep your back straight. If you don't feel like you need a block, you can go ahead and just take a seat on your bottom on the mat. We're just going to go ahead and rest our hands on our knees. And before we get started, I'm going to walk you through a couple of the transitions that we're going to do throughout this flow today. And the first one is called a vinyasa. So go ahead and come up, and we're going to start in a downward facing dog. So to get in a downward facing dog, you're going to put your hands forward, shoulder width apart, and your feet hip width apart. Make sure your fingers are fanned out. You can ground your heels if you have the flexibility to do so, but if not, that's okay. You can be up on your toes. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pedal through the legs a little bit, just bending each knee in, just kind of warming up. And then we're just going to hang here for a second. And then on an inhale, you're going to roll through into high plank. And then you're going to exhale, lower down, chaturanga. And then you're going to inhale, push up into an upward facing dog. Push the tops of your feet into the ground to lift your thighs, curl the toes, and roll back into a downward facing dog. So that is the essence of a vinyasa, which we'll do a couple times today throughout our flow. Next, we're going to go through how to bring your foot between your hands. If you're like me and you don't have the flexibility, this is going to be a little bit of a struggle for you, and that's okay. I'm going to show you a couple ways to do this. So go ahead and inhale the right leg up, bring your knee to your chest, and try to step your foot through to your hands. If you can't, that's okay. One way to get your foot between your hands from this position is to go ahead and take your right arm, hook it under your right leg, and pull that foot forward to meet your left hand, and then replace your right hand down to frame the foot. The other way that we can go ahead and get into a low lunge from a downward facing dog is to inhale that leg up, bring it to the knee again, step through, except this time your hands are up on the blocks, which creates a little bit more space for you to get that foot between your hands, and then you can lift up into a warrior one. So those are the couple of transitions that we're going to be going through today that I just wanted to show you before we got started. So go ahead and take a seat on your mat again up on the block or on your bottom on the mat is fine. Rest your hands on your knees or wherever's comfortable. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple audible breaths. So we are going to inhale and exhale, make it audible. Inhale, exhale. And we're going to do that one more time. Exhale. Release that stress from your day and just breathe. Now, go ahead, come off your bottom, and we're going to start with some cat and cow. So place your hands on your knees, hip and shoulder width apart. We're going to arch the back for cow and round the back for cat. So go ahead and inhale, arch the back for cow. Exhale, arch the back for cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Again, inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Inhale to cow. Exhale, arch the back for cat. Last time. Inhale to cow, arch the back, round the back, exhale for cat. Go ahead, And sit back into a child's pose, extending the arms forward, just taking a minute to breathe. Now, gently come out of your child's pose and push back into a downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, just getting comfortable in the pose. Pedal your legs if you'd like, just to really feel the depth that you can get in this downward facing dog. And we're going to walk through a couple of vinyasas right now. So on an inhale, roll through to high plank. Lower down, exhale, chaturanga. Keep those elbows close to your body. Inhale, push up into an upward facing dog. Push the tops of the feet into the floor and then curl your toes and lift back into a down dog. Let's roll through it again. High plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, curl the toes under, and push back into a downward facing dog again. Now, real quick, we're going to walk through a modified vinyasa. So roll through to high plank and then drop the knees and then lower chaturanga. Then push up into upward facing dog, curl the toes and push back into a downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. We're going to roll through to high plank, drop the knees, then lower chaturanga, push up into an upward facing dog, lift, and then just roll back into a child's pose. Go ahead and take the arms back behind you and just kind of rest them. You can rest them by your heels or up on the lower part of your back, just so the arms have no responsibility for a second. Take a couple breaths here and just enjoy this relaxing pose. And then stretch your arms out in front of you. And then we're going to come back up into a downward facing dog. Then I want you to walk your feet towards your hands as close as you can. And then we're just going to hang in a loose forward fold. You can keep your knees bent and just kind of hang there, knitting your ribs to your thighs. And you can sway if you'd like. And then we're going to inhale to a flat back. You can put your hands on your shins, or if you'd like and you have the flexibility, you can keep them on the mat. Exhale, round the back into a loose forward fold. Inhale, back into a flat back. Exhale into a loose forward fold. Take a deep bend in the knees and reverse swan dive, stand, and take a breath. Now we're going to stand in mountain pose. So just stand straight, the top of the crown of your head reaching towards the ceiling. Let your hands fall, but extend your fingers, keeping them active. Excuse me while I fix my clothes. And just really breathe and ground yourself. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the activity in your hands. Then take a breath. Inhale. Swan dive down. Place your hands on the mat and step or hop back into a downward facing dog, whichever is easier for you. And now inhale the right leg up, step it through and try to place it between your hands. If you can't, like me, wrap that arm under and help pull you forward up into a warrior one. Keep your heel up, the back heel. Then go ahead and open to warrior two. Your back heel and your front heel should be able to make a straight line. And make sure your shoulders are down. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Straighten that front leg and heel toe your back leg in a little bit to move into a triangle pose. Reach forward and then lean down. If your upper arm is not comfortable standing like that, you can tuck it behind your back so it has less responsibility, or if you are comfortable, you can go ahead and keep it up. Your gaze can be straight ahead, down at the floor, or you can turn your gaze up past your shoulder if that's comfortable on your neck. Bend that front leg and come back into a warrior two. And then we're going to take a breath, inhale, and come back into a warrior one. Now, what we're going to do is a warrior three. So you're going to take a breath, inhale the arms up, bring your hands to heart center, and then use your front leg to push yourself up to balance on that leg. Lift the other leg back as far as you can and just continue to lift it as much as you can. The standing leg does not need to be straight. You can bend it. And just try to hold that for a couple breaths. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. Then come back, step the foot down into warrior one once more. Place the hands on either side of the foot. Step forward and switch legs. So step the right leg back now. Inhale up into warrior one. Take a few breaths. Exhale into warrior two. Make sure your heels are making that straight line. Make sure you're breathing. Go ahead and straighten that front leg. Heel toe the back leg in, reach forward, and then drop that arm down for a triangle pose again. Again, like I said, you can rest the hand on your back if it's comfortable. Keep your gaze down, straight ahead or up, whatever is most comfortable for you. Go ahead and bend that front leg, come back into a warrior two. We're going to come into a warrior one and get ready for a warrior three. Take a breath, inhale, bring the hands to heart center, and as you do, go ahead and step and come up onto that standing leg for that balance pose. Go ahead and lift that leg as high as you can again, making sure we balance out both sides of our body. Do not open your hip like I just did. You keep your hips as straight and in alignment with the floor as possible. And then when you're ready, go ahead and step back down, lift up your arms back into warrior one. Go ahead and frame that foot with your hands and step back into a downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And then roll through a vinyasa, high plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Curl the toes under, roll back into a downward facing dog. Once more, roll through to high plank, chaturanga, push up into an upward facing dog, and then sit back into a child's pose. So we're just gonna sit here for a minute and rest. Take a few breaths in your child pose and just enjoy the break. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come up. And we're gonna be on our knees for a minute. I'm just gonna turn to face you. And what we're going to do is we're going on an inhale, we're gonna lift that left arm, reach over for the nice side stretch. Keep that other hand grounded. You can try to put your forearm on the floor if you can, but if you don't have the flexibility, that's okay. Now we're going to inhale that right arm up, reach over, and get that nice side stretch. And then we're going to go ahead and come out. And we're just going to inhale the arms up, bring the hands to heart center, and place your hands on the mat in front of you and just go ahead and stand and step your legs out into a wide-legged forward fold. I love this pose. It feels so good. Go ahead and just hang there. You can ground your hands if you'd like. If you want and you have the shoulder flexibility to do so, you can lace your hands behind your back and stretch forward as I am here. If not, that's okay. You can keep your hands on the mat or reaching towards the mat. Either is fine. If you are doing this shoulder stretch, it feels really great and lets that responsibility go in the arms. So go ahead now and heel toe in And take a deep bend in the knees. Come up, hands to heart center. And now we're going to move through some tree poses. Tree poses are balance poses, and they're so wonderful. If you can, go ahead and tuck that heel into your upper thigh. If not, you can put it down by your ankle. You can put it up on your shin. Do not put it on your knee. Keep it below or above, or even put your toes on the floor if you don't have the flexibility quite yet to lift your foot up. So wherever you're comfortable, go ahead and then just bring your hands to heart center. Focus on something in front of you that's not moving to help you with your balance, and just take a few breaths here. Now I'm going to test your balance a little bit, and we're not going to put that foot down quite yet. So take a few more breaths, and then we're going to let that foot go, but don't touch the ground yet. Just hover it in front of you. And then without touching the ground, we're going to bring that leg backwards, and we're going to try and grab it with our hand to get a nice quad stretch. Again, make sure that your focal point is something that's not moving to help with your balance. And it's okay if you fall out. Go ahead and bring that foot back forward without touching the ground, and then lower. We're going to do that on the other side now. Go ahead and bring that leg up and that foot wherever it is that you're comfortable. Bring your hands to heart center. Find your focal point and just take a few breaths here. And just focus on your balance. Don't get concerned if you fall out. That's okay. And then after a few more breaths, we're going to bring that foot down without touching the ground. Just bring it up. And then we're going to lift it back and try to grab our hand, or grab our foot with our hand for a nice quad stretch. Find that focal point. And then let go. Don't come down to the ground quite yet. Lift that knee back up and then place your foot on the ground. Go ahead and come to the center of your mat and just have a seat. We're going to get ready for Savasana. Roll back onto your mat, vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly. And then just kind of get comfortable. Bring your knees into your chest, hug your knees close, and then just let them relax. You can put your feet on the mat and let your hips fall open into a butterfly pose. And just kind of wiggle the hips around. And then if you'd like, you can grab your big toes with your peace fingers and just play in Happy Baby for a second. Roll around again and just enjoy the stretch. And then when you're done playing, you can go ahead and just bring your knees in again and then set them on the floor and get comfortable to lay in Savasana. I'm just going to slide up my mat a little bit because I'm hitting my dresser. But now I just want you to close your eyes and relax, taking deep, cleansing breaths. A lot of people struggle with this portion of their practice because their mind continuously races and they have a hard time slowing it down. But what's important here is to recognize that when your thoughts do start to wander, that is okay, and just bring yourself back to your breath. Continue to breathe, inhaling and exhaling as your thoughts come and go, feeling the weight of your body against the floor, feeling the heels against your mat, your legs against it, your bottom, your back, your head, and your arms. Just feeling the weight of your body against the floor and realizing that there's no other place that you are right now other than laying on your mat and just simply breathing. I'm going to go ahead and give you a few seconds just to lay here, breathing without listening to me talk. So just continue to breathe and enjoy the rest. And then when you're ready, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and come up into a seated position. Place your hands on your knees or wherever is comfortable. And take a deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale one more time, the arms up over your head. Bring your hands together and down to heart center. Namaste, and thank you for joining me in this beginner's yoga flow.